Yo, buddies, sent around here today, coming to you with three of the most iconic, iconoclastic, legendary, well-known, well-loved perfumes of them all. Okay, two of them are late 1980s babies. Dior Fahrenheit is 1988, and David of Cool Water is 1988 as well, with Aqua di Gio being the 90s baby, 1996 actually. In terms of now the perfumers behind this, although my personal theory is that the more the perfumers, the better the smell. There's a mix here. We got David of Cool Water with a single person's name mentioned, which is Pierre Baudon, whereas Fahrenheit has two people, Jean-Louis Chezère and Michel Elmenic, and Aqua di Gio with our famous Alberto Morillas, Christian Dussolier, and Annick Menado. Okay, so there's a mix of people involved in terms of number of people. So that is not necessarily a sign of greatness for a perfume, but I think there is a reasonable pattern. Even with La Nuit de l'Homme, I think if my memory serves me right, it's three people behind it. Okay, and the more the merrier. Many times, the more the ingredients they use, the expense is more, and it's of course more difficult to blend them, and of course it's more difficult to make sure all of them harmonize in room temperature and whatnot. But I think we had great perfumes in those days because of that, and nowadays the trend is towards like 3 4 ingredients or 5 6 ingredients, and they're trying to make do with that. I hope they go back to you see, there are some of these lower end niche perfumes that have taken over what the designers did so well back in the day. So like the designers trying to be too commercial with lots of these intense or eau de parfum and all, which is not what they claim to be a lot of the times, have led to this gap in the market, which is being filled by brands with maybe minimal marketing, unknown names. Do you see that? Do you see the cap? Okay, which are coming in with yeah, baby, right? You all know what this is, right? So good quality niche perfumes are sort of filling that gap of multiple ingredients and great longevity and great performance. So if the designers are not gonna buckle up and have flashbacks of their 80s and 90s glory years, the mantle is gonna pass to Mancera. All right, but anyway, let's go nostalgic. Let's like relive the past. Let's talk about the good old days and whatnot. Okay, now in terms of ingredients, to a certain extent I think it's moot, because at least what I'm smelling is just a few of the notes where they really dominate, and those minor notes, either they just are trolling us and say, let's see what these jokers believe, or our competitors believe. See, for example, if you take Fahrenheit, the petrol vibe is just so strong that I often don't smell anything else all that much, but yet you see, in terms of note breakdown, if you see Fahrenheit's note breakdown, it's like a typical, like any other perfume. Then why does it smell so different? Okay, something is not right. Either they're not telling it in the official announcement, or something is going on. You see, even car makers do that, right? They sort of throttle their engines. Sometimes the official meter will say a certain amount, but for those who know, they know that engine can actually perform much better, right? So maybe manufacturers sometimes do a wink and a nod with the fans, and we got to sort of grab it. Another point I want to talk about this, when I'm looking at this icon, I start thinking about something else. This one phenomenon that I notice in my life a lot, that when you get introduced to something, your first exposure to it, or first you notice something, you think like, wow, this is so good, and then you naturally think that, okay, this is the first step, and I'm going to go down the rabbit hole, and I'm going to find much more great works and great things. But sad to say, oftentimes that's not the case. Okay, I don't know, is it luck, or is it because maybe the good ones are popular and you are more likely to have encountered them first in your life, or you get sort of I don't know. But let me give you an example. In terms of comics, for example, right? Comics, I think The Killing Joke, right? Batman and Joker was some of my friends had it, and some of the collectors are very anal. They only let you open a very 30 degrees because they want to protect the book and sell it off later and so on. And so yep, that's a very famous comic that I got there. And then subsequently So going out with a friend, then we got the Watchman, and also the which one is that good Superman comic, Kingdom Come, all right, Kingdom Come, and I'm like, wow, this is so good. And to get that hit again, I keep looking at other comics. I'm not really getting that hit that I got with the first one, although I bought a bunch after that, even omnibuses, and you get some of the bigger size books. So that's kind of frustrating. So maybe I'll try some Hickman's works. I got some Punisher and all, and none of them, they like meh. You're like, what is this? So yeah, it has so happens that in life sometimes get exposed to the best. Like novels are another example. What I started off with, Jack London, Mark Twain, and so on in the younger years, right? You're gonna read in your classics library, and for better or worse, once you read those best writers, right? Then once you start reading more and more, you just can't find good books anymore. You're thinking, am I jaded or what, or is it just that sort of you already smelled the best, or sorry, not smell the best, you read the best. So is there any reason for you to even go to the library, or you will go to the bookshop and keep buying thousands of books, because like the best thing to be written has already been written, the best comics to be drawn has already been drawn. It's just after that people just trying to sort of remix them and whatnot. I don't know how far you guys agree with this, but so in terms of perfume, I'm bringing the topic to perfume now. um, this Fahrenheit is one of my earliest memories of noticing a perfume, right? So it's a friend who wore it. I'm like, oh, this is like, oh, what is this? I was like, this sounds like somebody killed a bed bug or something, some kind of a pungency, but it's kind of a nice twist to it. So that's the kind of thought I had initially. Then people start talking about the gasoline, the petrol vibe, and all that, and like, yeah, it's a bit this one. But yeah, this seems to make males get more excited than females, I guess. So if you're wearing it for a date, you might get mixed results depending on the person. Okay, so yeah, just Fahrenheit is of note, not only because it's genuinely unique, legendary perfume loved by all, but also because it's one of the first perfumes I can remember smelling. Okay, and then again a bit later in college times and all, we started this became popular, and it's always I think it's a great evening out perfume. Okay, it's always had that how to say, it's not a like a cheap laundry or what, it's like a luxury laundry, like some kind of a very posh freshly made clothes kind of a smell, and you wear it and go, you get the marine vibe, and so that's like very popular. Of course, we all know that Snoop Dogg song, right? What, Cool Water Cologne, right? He sings it like that. Okay, and then this legend in the middle, just a beautiful blend of fruity sweetness and some pepper for some sharpness, and then the melon cologne. Wow, man, that just like hits you in the nostril just like that. Okay, so um, again, when I say these are the three most iconic perfumes, some collectors might turn up their nose and say that they might give some niche names. They might go Creed, Aventus, and all those kind of things, right? Of course, when you say iconic or legendary, it depends on how you want to look at it, man. Like if you want to ask people who's the best film director, who's the most popular, coolest one, right? If you are one of those niche film enthusiasts, I wouldn't say elitist, but some kind of a deep hardcore film nut, right? You might know people like Akira Kurosawa, right? If you ask the average Joe, who's Akira Kurosawa, how many knows? They'll be like, who's that? But you ask them who's Steven Spielberg, you ask them who's George Lucas, I think a lot of people will know them, right? These directors. But for these directors, people like Akira Kurosawa are the what's the word for it? Their inspiration. Okay, so I'm looking at this from a common man's perspective. Okay, for hardcore collector and all, of course, you might have some exotic names that you think were landmark perfumes, or change the game and whatnot. Another one that I might consider adding is probably the famous 80s 90s Dracar Noir by Guy Laroche, right? Yeah, that's kind of weird, because Guy Laroche is not like a brand that people really know that much, at least compared to say Chanel, Dior, Gucci, and so on. But somehow that Dracar Noir was like everywhere. Maybe the bottle design, the models they use, or what. Back in the day, it was one of the more well-known perfumes. But still, I think that's only an honorable mention. Okay, so these three, this triad, these three colors, tricolori, blue, white, gray, and red. These are, I think every perfume collector, do you agree that every perfume collector should have these three, whether they love them or not? These like so iconic, man. make sure you get, and they're not horribly priced either, you know. It's a very very nice mid-range price for these. So I think definitely you guys have to, you know, have this in your collection. For any basic perfume collector, right? If you're starting out, make sure you don't miss these three, you know. It's like these smells you must know, right? Issey Miyake might be another honorable mention. The, you know, the grey glass with the silver. It's like, yeah, they always compare it with Aqua di Gio, right? But that's a yuzu bomb. It's like a very citrusy, but it projects well and it's quite long lasting. So if you're looking into that office wear, there's a quintessential perfume. You can go. Boss Bottle is another honorable mention. Okay, so if I start going to go into honorable mention, I think I got to make list of 20 most iconic perfumes, like you know, some of our cool, some Joe, some of our OG reviewers do. Maybe another day on that, but I think this is just nice for three. What would be your three iconic perfumes and what's the justification? Do share in the comments. Okay, guys, bros and sisters, comrades, fellow men and women. With that, Senhound says bye bye. Comment below. Don't be shy. Take care. Much love. Bye bye.